Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to get a little physical.
For months, cheap shots and dirty fouls turned Caitlin Clark into a human punching bag, testing how much one superstar could endure without losing her cool. That storyline just got torched by a single enforcer who wasn't about to watch the league's biggest name get humiliated on national television again. Sophie Cunningham didn't just step in, she flipped the script on every rival planning to test Clark's patience. One reckless poke to the eye, one hockey-style shove, and suddenly the WNBA isn't just about finesse, it's about consequences. This feud sparked a wildfire that could define the Fever's entire season. Anyone counting on Clark to fold better grab a seat, because Sophie just made that impossible. Drop Goat CC and Spicy Sophie in the comments, smash the like button, and turn on all notifications because this saga is just heating up.
Marina Mabrey, who knocked Caitlin Clark down. I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye. Cheap shots can't be happening, and it always happens. No. Caitlin is certainly going to be a storyline. She's a star. She's a dog. And WNBA seemingly on the rack.
Everything changed the moment JC Sheldon decided to test the limits of what the refs would let slide. No sneaky push, no accidental elbow, just a blatant poke to Caitlin Clark's eye, right there for cameras and an entire arena to witness. It wasn't basketball, it was an open dare to see how much disrespect Indiana's golden ticket would tolerate.
Last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom!
Wow.
JC Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom Mabrey thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here. And then we'll get out. I love it.
But before Sheldon could even pretend it was an innocent swipe, Marina Mabrey made things worse.
Marina Mabrey basically just did what Kennedy Carter did on a whole nother level.
Charging in like she belonged in an NHL brawl, she delivered a shove so forceful it dropped Clark to the hardwood, sending gasps through the crowd. This double hit wasn't just a foul, it was a message, a cruel one, that the league's brightest star was fair game for bullies.
Caitlin Clark was just assaulted bad. This is the worst one ever, bro. She was literally poked in the eye, then pushed to the ground by Marina Mabrey.
The only thing these two didn't plan for? A storm named Sophie, ready to turn that cheap shot into the last mistake they'd make unchecked.
The Fever and the Connecticut Sun got into it a little bit last night. Obviously, it all started with an eye gouge into a knockdown from JC Sheldon.
Caitlin is up there with the MVP, probably with Big Feast out in Minnesota.
I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye.
Yeah, big time.
Gouged in the eye. Marina Mabrey, who knocks her down.
Mabrey just goes and shoves her onto the ground.
Marina Mabrey, this is ridiculous.
1 second, Caitlin Clark lay stunned from a poke and a shove. The next, Sophie Cunningham transformed the court into her personal battleground. No hesitation, no searching for an official's whistle. Sophie zeroed in on the culprits like a human alarm system with a black belt's precision. Teammates and fans alike realized in that instant that Indiana didn't just sign a shooter, they unleashed an enforcer.
I don't like the blindside cheap shot. I don't like the poke in the eye. But I don't mind the
physical.
Yeah, I don't mind a little bit of like competitive, how you doing, keep it moving. Especially at the WNBA with how much is at stake. You know, right now they're at a pivotal time.
Yep.
There's a CBA coming up, I think. I believe there is some sort, because remember they were talking about holding out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so there is some sort, I believe there is a CBA coming up. So it's like there's an opportunity now. What is the pivotal time? It's like having good basketball, good. Having cheap shots, not good, probably.
Her glare alone said what Clark's calm never could. Mess with the star, pay with bruises. In a league hungry for drama, but short on protectors, Sophie became the muscle every icon secretly dreams of having. Just like Dennis Rodman made opponents think twice about taking cheap shots at Jordan, Sophie's presence turned Indiana from a finesse squad into a squad ready for war. And with every bark, shove, and stone-cold stare, she rewrote what it means to defend a teammate in the WNBA.
Sophie Cunningham coming in there, too.
She was barking the whole time, too, underneath the hoop at that.
When she was grabbing the head?
Uh-huh.
Is that like who she is? She's like an enforcer?
Yeah, it feels like she was potentially brought in like a James Johnson type role for Tyrese Halliburton. And it's like, thank God. I think this is a good play, not a bad play.
You always need some. I don't know if they still call them. You need some goons on your team for sure, especially when you have a star like that. Yeah, when you have the golden goose, just like MJ was, and you had his teammates who were kind of protecting at times when the dirtbag Detroit Pistons had those MJ rules. So this is what the greats are gonna go through. Candace Parker kind of went through this. She came in the league, but yeah, Caitlin Clark's gonna continue to deal with it, and she's a dog.
Until now, every Logo 3 Caitlin Clark launched came with the weight of constant elbows, hip checks, and silent prayers that a teammate might finally step in.
Mind you, J.C. Sheldon has been hitting Caitlin in the face all game, fouling all game. The refs don't care. The refs act like their whistles are broke. She's fouling her nonstop again, hits her in the...
That changed the second Sophie Cunningham drew her line in the hardwood. For the first time since her college days, Clark played without looking over her shoulder. No fear, no flinching, just pure swagger and showmanship. Her response to the dirty hits wasn't whining or flopping. It was raining down logo bombs that turned gasps into roars. One after another, those deep shots silenced taunts and punished defenders who dared close in. Each bucket seemed to echo Sophie's unspoken warning: touch the superstar and taste the floor. The effect was instant. Clark's grin wider, her footwork looser, her confidence volcanic. When a generational scorer stops worrying about cheap shots, the entire league feels it. And Indiana, suddenly, it's playing like a team no one wants to cross.
And drop it with no hesitation. Last night, double team, step back, sideways. How you doing? Keep it moving. Then, how about her to the bench afterwards with a...
You like that?
Yeah, it was a... You like that, but that last one right here, this is a... Get to it. Get to it. Get to it. The punch is a... I'm the one.
The highlight reels barely did justice to the chaos that unfolded, but Pat McAfee made sure every frame got its due. On live air, he rewound, paused, and nearly broke his own desk as he dissected J.C. Sheldon's eye jab and Marina Mabrey's body check with the fury of a lifelong sports brawler. That ain't basketball, he barked, disbelief dripping from every syllable. His panel didn't argue. They doubled down, calling it a flat-out assault on the league's biggest draw.
I mean, she's a needle mover, and she's got an enforcer on the team now, and a black belt having Sophie Cunningham. Don't look now, the Fever about to win WNBA title, just like they're about to win the Commissioner's Cup.
Social media erupted in lockstep, with clips of Sophie's retaliation and Caitlin's icy logo threes flooding timelines within minutes. In Indiana, Sophie, chants drowned out the usual cheers, and jerseys flew off shelves like hot gossip.
Indiana Fever fans were chanting, Sophie, Sophie. Sophie, 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 Sophie. Sophie's jersey is going to sell out tonight. She's going to be in the All-Star game tonight just from this one play because she was standing on business. It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul, and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle, and I don't think anybody wanted that.
McAfee's breakdown didn't just expose a dirty play. It crowned Sophie as the hero fans didn't know they craved. In one viral segment, he turned a nasty cheap shot into proof that Clark's era won't be defined by silence or fear.
Fever know that they're targets.
Yeah.
Caitlin understands it at this point, and I love that she is yet to waver. It's just like, we're singular focus of next game, I'm getting better.
Last season, Indiana's bench watched as Clark took elbows and body checks like a rookie with no big sister in sight. That passive script just got shredded. Sophie Cunningham's zero-tolerance policy turned a squad of polite scorers into a pack ready to brawl for their superstar. Suddenly, cheap shots drew instant retaliation. Hard fouls answered with harder screams, and opponents realized that the new Fever don't flinch. They hit back. The sideline energy transformed too. No more stunned faces or shrugged shoulders. Now it's fists pumping, teammates barking at referees, and a bench unified behind one mission: protect Clark at all costs.
She's one. She is a needle mover.
Caitlin is the one.
No comparison to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the most must-watch basketball player in world basketball right now. There's nobody that does what Caitlin Clark does.
She's the biggest basketball star in the world.
How special and rare Caitlin Clark is.
This new identity doesn't just rattle opponents. It gives Indiana something priceless: swagger. Every championship team needs a force who polices disrespect. With Sophie, the Fever found theirs. Rivals hoping to rattle Caitlin better come prepared for bruises, and a scoreboard that punishes every reckless bump twice over.
Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And JC Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
When the dust settled, the league's official response landed softer than expected. Technical fouls for Clark, Mabrey, and Tina Charles, a single flagrant for JC Sheldon, and not a single ejection. To the fans replaying the eye gouge in slow motion, it felt like an insult. If referees won't draw the line, Sophie Cunningham gladly will.
I mean, is that displacement? I think it is.
Oh, and Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it. Look at Mabrey. She's got a scar on one side, a scratch on one side of her face, a scratch on the other side. It's not from the game today. I asked her about it. She's always in the mix. There's a lot of contact here. There's a scrape across the face. That's what Clark didn't like.
The slap on the wrist penalties signaled to every would-be agitator that star players remain fair game unless there's an enforcer lurking nearby. Cunningham's thunderous message now echoes louder than any official ruling. Cross Clark. Expect to kiss the hardwood. It's the kind of frontier justice the WNBA rarely sees, but suddenly can't look away from. Opponents eyeing quick cheap shots now do mental math. Is it worth a scoreboard swing and a face full of Sophie's shoulder? For Indiana, these light penalties only confirm what the scoreboard showed that night. The old soft fever are extinct. A fight-back era has arrived.
She just texts me. She never texts me during the game.
All right. Here is Clark splashing home a 3 from way downtown. Kelly escorting her back to the bench.
JC Sheldon is there with her hand in her face.
No press conference soundbite could capture the fire burning behind Caitlin Clark's eyes after the chaos. She didn't plead with refs or dwell on bruises. Instead, she hunted the biggest moment like a predator. Double team, moving sideways, balance off. Yet she launched a logo 3, so deep it might as well have come from the parking lot. Net. No hesitation, no apology. Then came the stare down, the primal chest pound, and the 3 words that said everything. I'm the one. In that instant, the entire arena understood. The polite rookie was gone forever. A fearless icon had arrived. The cheap shots, the hate, the doubt, all fuel now, feeding every highlight. Her glare to the opposing bench, the defiant grin, the swagger. These weren't just taunts, they were declarations. Clark isn't just surviving the WNBA, she's bending it to her will, logo bomb by logo bomb. And beside her, Sophie stands watch, daring anyone to try their luck again.
When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game, it's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete. And they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competition. So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better.
JC Sheldon and Marina Mabrey thought a poke and a shove might break Caitlin Clark's rhythm, maybe even rattle Indiana back into old habits. Instead, they sparked the kind of fury that could anchor a championship run. Sophie Cunningham didn't just answer violence with muscle. She carved a new backbone for an entire locker room. Now, every time Clark steps across half court, she carries not just a deep threat, but a silent promise. Cheap shots come with consequences. The scoreboard backs her up. Sophie enforces the rules the refs won't, and a fan base once frustrated by quiet suffering now roars with defiance. This wasn't a random scuffle, it was a defining pivot point. The Fever aren't the league's polite underdog anymore. They're a squad with bite, bark, and buckets that make entire arenas hush. Anyone daring to test that will learn fast. Clark doesn't just score, she dominates. And with Sophie beside her, this league might never be the same. Drop Goat CC and Spicy Sophie below. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because the next shot fired in this war is coming soon.